Heavyweights, DJ QT on the ones and twos. My name is B. Davis. It's about 7:05 in the greater Hartford area. Shouts to my homie Lotto in the building, man. And like I said before, man, we got Reggie Hatchett in the building, man. Coach Hatchett, man, what's going on with you?
How you doing, brother?
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, life is good right now.
Life is great for you right now, man.
Yeah, we're having a good year right now, man. Having a real good year.
I was just scrolling through your Facebook, and it looks like you shared one of your videos from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And the stat read, "Give me a high school job and I'll get you a chip in 3 years or less."
Yeah. I was scrolling through some of my old stuff for Throwback Thursday type stuff, and I saw that video that I posted back in 2010, I think it was, saying that, you know, if I get a high school job, I'll win a state championship in 3 years or less. And, you know, that was like a self-fulfilling prophecy because, you know, I've only been Weaver coach for a year and a half. I took over mid-year last year,
wow.
So this was my first full season.
So I'm kind of, you know, I don't really know your background like that. So you said you took over midway through the season. Were you an assistant coach?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, it was my first time coaching high school. I was put on as the JV coach behind the former Weaver coach, who I don't want to say his name, but you know, he was in that position. Some things happened where he was removed, and midway through the season, I had to be thrusted into the head coaching position by default. You know, because it was like literally I found out on the way to the game, like, yo, you're coaching tonight type of thing. So it was kind of, you know, not planned or nothing like that. So I took over midway through the season last year. We made it to the state championship and lost. But, you know, everybody there was confident that, you know, we had all of the pieces to come back this year, focused, and that we could get back and possibly win. And that's exactly what happened. That's how we did it.
So you guys made it to back-to-back state championships and took home one of them.
Right. Actually, yeah, this was Weaver's third year in a row. This was their third year in a row going to the state championship. But I went to the state championship last year and this year.
Okay.
So, you know, this was our 8th championship overall. But, you know, this was a very difficult task. But, you know, this year we set a record for the most wins in the season. So this team, you know, Weaver has a great tradition. So many great basketball players went through there. And I am in no way am I saying that these guys are better than years past.
Right.
However, we did win more games this season than, you know, any Weaver team has ever won in 1 year.
I see you getting into you know, a lot of discussions on Facebook with a lot of, you know, guys around the town, around the city.
Yeah, I'm a controversial guy.
Yeah, you're very opinionated and you're not afraid to express your opinion. Did that get you into some type of trouble?
Well, you know, I actually think it's a gift and a curse. Is actually people expect that from me, and when you carry yourself a certain way, you know, people expect you to be opinionated. They expect you to be outspoken, but it's also a gift in that, you know, people don't talk crazy around you because they know you'll check them. You know what I mean? So it helps me in my coaching because I usually only have to say things once before, you know, the guys fall in line and listen to what I got to say. So I don't have to beg for people's attention or beg for their respect, kind of a thing.
Right. And you went to Weaver yourself, right?
Yeah, class of '97.
So being that you know, Weaver alumni, you from the neighborhood, you know, do you feel like the guys respect you more, the kids respect you more?
Well, yeah, I think it's not just because I went to Weaver, but also because they see me, I'm present in their community. Like you guys know, you guys are around this area. You know, the kids, when they see you at the grocery store, they see you at the restaurants, they see you, you know, whatever, in their neighborhoods, they know that you come from where they come from. So you're not coming from an outside area trying to talk down to them. Like, you know, they know you're in the Blue Hills area, you're in the Bowles Park area, you're in the Albany Avenue area, you go through the same struggles they do. We shop at the same grocery store. So, you know, I think that gives me a sort of an authenticity with them that I don't really have to prove myself to them because they know that, you know, I'm real, I'm around.
Word. So, you know, you went to school in the neighborhood, you grew up in the neighborhood, and you know, how would you say, you know, the teenagers now are different from when you graduated high school in '97?
When I graduated in '97, we had almost 2,000 students at Weaver. So, you know, you had to be somebody in order to act like somebody because, you know, somebody would check you if you wasn't, you know, just talking crazy. Nowadays, a lot of the kids have a false sense of, you know, like being who they are. You know, a lot of fake tough guys, a lot of fake, you know, disrespectful kids to teachers and to coaches that, you know, they haven't really earned their stripes. You know, I went to school, there was several guys that you would consider grown men that were in high school.
Right.
You know, like nowadays, you know, the guys are smaller.
Yeah, it's so crazy because when I was younger, I used to see kids. Well, I lived on Tower Ave my whole life, so I used to see all the kids throughout the ages, basically.
Right.
So when I was a young kid, I used to see kids walking down to Weaver with full beards.
Right. Right.
Full beards.
Right.
You don't see that anymore.
Muscles.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like dudes you didn't want to run into, kind of a thing. And I think that's absent. So I would say that the biggest difference nowadays is you don't really have to be proven in order to have a name, whereas before, and even this is also with basketball and other sports, like you had to have, you had to be the man in Westbrook, you had to be the man in Nelm Court before you could even try out for Weaver, back in the day. Like you had to be somebody, whereas, now the talent pool and the amount of kids have dwindled down so much that, we got to recruit kids to come out for the basketball team. You got to be in the hallways and beg them to come try out.
Wow.
We don't even have it. Like this year, we didn't have enough kids for a freshman team. We've always had a freshman team.
Well, coming off of two trips to the state championship, you would think that it'd be easier to recruit kids to play basketball for the team, right?
Well, and when I say recruit, I mean within your own building. But like a lot of the kids just don't like. This is another big difference. Like when we came up. Even like the tough guys, the drug dealers, play ball.
Right.
Nowadays, like, kids are too cool to play ball. Mm-hmm. They don't want to sweaty their stuff up. So it's not a lot of kids playing basketball like it was before. Like, like I said, we would have tryouts. It would be like a full week because you'd have over 100 kids trying out for 12 slots when I came up.
Right.
Nowadays, it's not like that.
Right. And when I said recruiting, I meant in the school because recruiting is illegal, right?
Right. I can't get that twisted. A lot of people want to put that myth out there.
Right.
It's not true. Like I'm saying, like within our own building, you see a kid that's like 6'4", you're like, yo, why you not trying out for the basketball team? That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Because you'll be surprised how many 6'4" kids there is walking around that don't really want to try out.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So how did you guys come up with the whole nickname, the Weaver 300, and what's the meaning behind it?
Well, all of the teams that I've ever coached, I use that nickname. That's kind of like my signature. Mm-hmm. And the thought process behind it is simply the movie. In the movie 300, the thing that was going on then was that the Spartans were known for their warfare, and so they were going up against this very big, army that had a lot of great numbers, had a whole bunch of people, but not necessarily great fighters. So the 300 Spartans knew that they stood a chance simply because they were better trained, even though that they were outnumbered or outsized, that didn't matter. So I always, being from Hartford, Connecticut, I used to coach AAU basketball. Mm-hmm. So we always would go against the biggest kids from Philly, DC, New York, New Jersey. And you have to have a mentality of like David versus Goliath, because when you play against a team from Cali or Texas, they're going to have a 12-year-old that's 6'8". So, you know what I mean? You got to go into that mentality thinking like, yo, just because he's bigger than us don't mean he's better than us. So we took on the mentality of being Hartford 300. And, that mentality has grown with me everywhere I've coached. I've taken that with me. Like, even with Weaver, we wasn't a big team this year. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of teams that had bigger guys than us, but, with the type of basketball players that we had, the heart that we had, we believe that we could compete with anybody.
Word, man. How many kids are you guys losing coming back next season? How many kids?
Total there was 2 seniors on the team. One of them, whom I love, named Joaquin. He didn't play a lot. He's kind of a senior that just on a team. He definitely made the team, but he didn't get a lot of minutes. But the only guy that got significant minutes was a guy named Rob Harrison. We're losing him, so we're only losing those 2. So basically, out of my top 9 guys, I'm only losing 1.
Word, man. So how are you going to keep the team hungry, man? They coming off a championship. They're young. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's very, very difficult, but we keep trying to get bigger goals. This year we went 27-2. You can't do much better than 27-2.
Right.
I never want the kids to believe that undefeated is a goal, because that's a dangerous thought process. Because if you lose one, you can have a big letdown.
Right.
And just with 1 loss doesn't mean that your season is over. So I definitely think that the thought process is there's no Weaver team that ever went back to back. We can be the first team in Weaver history to go back to back. The first Hartford team to go back to back since the '93 and '94 Hartford Public Owls that had Marcus Camby on the team.
Wow.
So that's also a goal. And then there's another team that's supposed to be the Goliath of Connecticut from Sacred Heart down in Waterbury. They have the guy Mustafa Haran, the #1 player in the state, one of the best players in the country. They're going to rank them over us simply because they have him. So my job is to motivate those guys to be like, yo, just because they have the #1 player in the state and he's going to, a Division I school, doesn't mean that they're better than us. So we want to end the season being #1 in the state. This year we finished #2 behind them because they finished undefeated. But next year, we want to. That's one of our goals, to be the #1 team in the state.
So let's say the end of the season next year, you happen to be ranked #1 in the state, beat the team out in Waterbury. Yeah, what's that gonna do for your confidence, being that you just started you just started coaching high school basketball maybe 2.5 years ago?
Well, I must be honest, my ultimate goal is I don't necessarily want to be in high school for a long time. I think the position that you can best serve young people is to be a college coach. So, I know the way to get into the door with that is to be an assistant coach. So, I would like to one day coach at the collegiate level where I have the power to even suggest to give kids scholarships. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these kids aren't going to go professional. So the idea is to try to get these kids to be to let basketball pay for their education. And I think, when you're in a position where you can grant a kid a scholarship, or you can have the power to suggest that a kid get a free education, that's big time.
Word, man. And since winning the championship, you guys have been on like a little mini state tour almost.
Yeah, we've been the city capital, state capital. A lot of things are happening for us. Like, you'd be surprised how much this community gets behind a winner,
Right.
Because there's a lot of negative things that was going on with Weaver. They were threatening to close us and all that other kind of stuff. But since the basketball teams won the state championship, it's brought a lot of attention to us where, there's a lot of state representatives and, the mayors know some of our guys by name. It was a surreal moment to be in the governor's office and he's like, which one of you guys is Keandre? That kind of a thing that he had done his homework and read up on us, to know some of the names of the guys. So when you have a kid, 15, 16, 17 years old, and the governor's asking you for you by name, that's big time.
So, that had to be the most, exciting part of the journey so far.
Right. Well, just the amount of people, honestly, for me, the most exciting part is to get the brothers like yourselves out that come to the games, show the kids love, you know what I'm saying? Because, that's the part that was missing that's now coming back. Like, when we went to school, there was a badge of honor that you played for Weaver. Like, when you played Hartford High, you would get some of the OGs who graduated in '78 coming out with their old Weaver jackets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to have that coming back where you got dudes that graduated back in the 90s and 80s coming back like, let's go Weaver.
Yeah, because I was at a game earlier this year, and I forgot who you guys were playing, but there was a lot of Weaver alumni in the crowd getting on the refs.
Right.
It was intense.
That feeling is coming. We played Hartford High this year. We had over 2,000 people in the building, man. And it's been a long time since.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing the clips on the news, the highlights that night.
Man, it was flooded in there, man.
Yeah.
So they're talking about next year having a few of our games at University of Hartford. Because of the amount of people that we got coming back. Like, we're going to be one of the best shows on earth type of thing. You know what I'm saying? People going to want to come and check us out. So to get that kind of excitement for kids, when you take a look back at your life right now, I'm 37, my birthday just passed, 37 years old, and you look back, some of the moments that you had in high school will be some of the defining moments of your life. I still remember the Doc Hurley Classic, like it was yesterday. So these kids are living out these moments right now, not realizing that these are memories that you're going to be holding on to. So, the fact that the basketball program had fallen down to the point where there was none of that lore, that excitement there, that bothered me. I was away at college, and I'm looking back, I'm checking on the internet, and Weaver lost to Windsor by 60. It's like, what? That ain't supposed to happen.
Right.
Not to a Weaver team.
Yeah.
But the reason why that's happening is because of the influx of the magnet schools. Nowadays, a parent has about 10 choices that they can send their child to. So back in the days, you either went to Weaver, Hartford High, Buckley, or maybe Prince Tech. That's it. Nowadays, a lot of our greatest talents are going to Capital Classical, Capital Prep, sports medical science, so that the talent pool is dwindling down, had been dwindling down. And I think now that, the resurgence of Weaver is giving parents another option in the North End. Like, we're the last hope. Like, we're the only public school left in the North End. Wow. So if you lose that, then now it's going to be all magnet and choice schools. So, I mean, we can't lose that community school because,
Definitely.
that it means a lot. Like, we was a staple of that community.
It really is, man, and it was. I didn't even go to Weaver, but it was hard those years that Weaver was getting beat by those teams, things like that. But now Weaver's back, man, and they're the hottest ticket in town. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited. Like I said, I didn't go to Weaver, but I'm gonna come to the games next year.
Right, like and that's another thing that Hartford is like that. There's definitely a lot of haters. I'm gonna get that out there. That's definitely true, but they also get behind the winner in that. I'm saying, like, even like with Buckley and Hartford High and those other schools, when they fell short this year, all of those fans kind of got behind Weaver because this becomes the Hartford team.
Exactly.
Now this is Hartford against Fairfield. This is Hartford against Bridgeport. So, like, there's a lot of people that understand, like, our team is probably not as good as them, so when they're not playing us, I'm going to support the Weaver team. You know what I mean? So we got, like, the whole community to kind of get behind us to say, these are our boys against, the other parts of the state that kind of get more recognition than we do. But for the next 3-4 years, man, Hartford is going to be running the state, man. You got my word on that.
He already made the proclamation, 3 years ago?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You. I mean, I believe in you.
I appreciate that, brother. There's a lot of parents and community people that are buying into what we have going on. It's a beautiful thing to witness it. I just want to keep riding it out until the run is over.
Definitely, man. So, I mean, before the season starts next year, you got to come back through. Give us,
for sure. Maybe next time I can have one of my guys with me, man.
Most definitely.
Get one of the guys on there. That would be a big deal for them.
Yeah, most definitely.
There's a couple of guys on the team that are definitely going Division I, so they're going to be on TV one day.
Word, and we got to start those connections between the neighborhood and these future stars, these potential. They have a lot of potential, whether or not they go to the NBA or not. Like,
right, it keeps them straight. A young man getting to come to a studio like this and talk to you guys, it means a lot, and it motivates him to stay off the streets and keep doing the right thing. If these are the kind of things that he's going to do, if he continues to do the right thing.
Word, man. It's 89.9 QFM, Titanium Radio, Titanium Heavyweights. Coach Reggie Hatchett, coach of the boys basketball team, Weaver High School. Congratulations on the state championship this year. I hope you guys make it next year, win it next year. And, if you guys win it next year, I can't. I'm looking forward to the Facebook post, the Facebook rates.
Right. Thank you, brother.
Any shout-outs, anything like that?
No, let me just shout out my team and my school, Weaver High School. The Prime is tomorrow. Everybody stay safe. I'll be chaperoning, so I'll be looking out for you guys. So, that's it. Thanks for having me up here, man. I appreciate the love from you guys, man.
No doubt, man. It's 89.9 QFM Hartford. Support Hartford, all right? It's your boy B. Davis, at B. Davis on air, at The Real DJ QT.